Welcome to the One Harvest Podcast.
Get it.
Aaron, Kyle, myself are your hosts. We got Ian in the back on the sound. And our special guest today is Manny, the co-founder of Pastries and now soon-to-be dispensary owner. Congratulations, and thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
With the fam.
Yeah. Welcome back. You also were here when we did our first sound check, and thankful for that. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Congratulations on all the success of the podcast.
Thank you.
Very entertaining.
Yeah. we try.
It's been a good journey.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah.
How are you? How's things been? I know there's a lot of changes that have happened in the past, and I know that we have a lot to talk about. So how's the brand going? How's Pastries?
Pastries is doing good. We're at a standstill right now.
Okay.
We're in what I call a regroup mode. Yeah, we had some issues with the city.
Okay.
It's a pretty long story. I might be able to get into a little bit of that. But when we purchased our licenses, we didn't really have any idea what we were doing at all. We got invited into an opportunity. Basically, Ryan and I, my partner in Pastries, we were supposed to be investing in a company that would have a retail sales outlet in Marin.
Okay.
There's a small dispensary there in Marin County that's been there for a long time, but the lady was not paying her bills and she needed some funding, and we were asked to help, and we would be receiving 50% of the equity in that dispensary, plus a distribution license, plus a small cultivation. And to make a long story short, the person that basically got us into this opportunity, he never brought his finances to the table. So we purchased all of the assets, and we never really intended on being like that active of partners. Our goal was to be like silent partners and help and bring in our connections and our knowledge of cultivation and our strains and stuff like that, and then grow, package, and then get it right to the dispensary.
Seed to shelf.
It turns out that our partner, who was supposed to be extremely knowledgeable in this arena, wasn't very knowledgeable. He was a scammer. And he purchased half of a sole proprietorship, which you can't. And she ended up basically fighting the whole thing. And that part of the business didn't manifest.
Wow.
We didn't actually get the dispensary part of it. So at that time, what had happened is we had invested in these assets, right? And we realized like our game plan wasn't going to really work out. And the money that he was supposed to bring in so that we could build the cultivation the way we wanted it, he didn't bring in. We were put between a rock and a hard place, where we found out from the landlord one of the months that he had only paid half of the rent, because he was responsible. He's supposed to be responsible for the finances and all that. For us, we come from the underground. We're coming from farming and doing things a little bit different. He was the guy that, owned a delivery license in Sacramento, had done all of the corporate stuff, was very well versed in the red tape, and he pitched us this idea that he had all of the knowledge on how to do all this stuff, which he had some, but at the end of the day, it turned out that he didn't have the funds, and those funds were supposed to be brought in so that we can build a company, build the facility, and remodel everything. Part of that whole thing was that the cultivation was on what they call here in Sonoma County penalty relief program.
Okay.
So the penalty relief program was created by the county so that people who were cultivating in the underground could come up and they were giving opportunities for people to do that. But they had to meet certain criteria along the way. And we didn't understand when we purchased the businesses that was a thing. We found out way later. And it came time here not that long ago where the city was like, hey, you guys have been on penalty relief for this amount of time. Like, you guys need to do this and this, or we're not going to renew your permit.
Dang.
After doing the math on what it would take to
Build everything.
Rebuild this cultivation under all these new guidelines and under all this new stuff,
including the market going down.
Yeah, you're talking different types of lights and green and new plumbing, new electrical, new plans. Just to provide the plans, it's $40-50K in architectural work. You know what I mean? So, given all the circumstances, we decided that we weren't going to give them what they wanted. It was just time for us to pull back on that.
Yep.
So we're in a process of rebooting. We're working on new packaging.
Nice.
We are working through some new opportunities in cultivation, and we're at a standstill. So right now you can't really find us in the dispensary.
Okay.
Perfect rebranding opportunity, though.
It's a great
Right.
opportunity.
Yeah.
And quite honestly, like, it came at the right time because we were exhausted.
It's a good little reset.
Building a brand is way harder than people can imagine.
It takes a lot of time. It's
takes
not
time.
a quick couple-month event.
Yeah,
It
one
is
and done. Here we are.
Yeah.
Now come purchase.
No,
It's like,
it takes a long time.
yeah.
And we were forced, basically. I mean, we had this idea of this brand for a long time. So coming up with the brand wasn't difficult for us.
Mm-hmm.
What was difficult for us was the pressure to build the cultivation out, get genetics in there,
Deliver everything. right?
and start
And-
figuring out how to make money.
Yeah.
We'll make a premium product too. So it's like there's probably a lot of pressure on that.
Absolutely. Like, we have
Don't
a
come out just
reputation
right,
in the
yeah.
community for, and then also us just being a small
Yeah.
boutique brand. We weren't trying to produce any type of trash.
Mm-hmm.
But we wanted to produce the best of the best.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was interesting because it was a blessing in disguise in a way, because it forced us to perform under pressure, because we're like, we have to make money to start paying these bills,
Yep.
because it's not cheap to pay for that type of square footage and green zones. So I have a lot of experience in marketing and designing looks and feels and stuff like that, just from my background in event production and
Yeah.
just being an artistic person in itself and understanding some of that stuff. So I was like, all right, Brian, you get to do what you do,
Yep.
which is the cultivation, the genetics and all that kind of stuff, and I'll get to work on the other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I had to teach myself how to do metric. There was no one there to really teach me.
That's hard.
I had to teach myself how to make an invoice.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to do an invoice and link it to the metric. I had never gone out and sold, to dispensaries in this way. Like,
Yeah.
I had experience selling to dispensaries from way back in the day when I was brokering.
Hmm.
I used to, go down to Mercy and
Yep.
see Brandon down there many years ago, and he would just write me a little slip, hand me a bunch of cash, and
Real
I'd
simple
run
Yeah.
off
back
on
then.
my way.
Good old days, huh?
This is way different. There's
Yeah.
a whole
Yeah.
different
Sure.
process to this, the
Mhm.
testing, the this, the that. It was like
Regulations.
we had to figure it all out.
Mm-hmm.
And then being a small company like that, and being in the financial position that we were in after spending hundreds of thousands of dollars and not having any money really to run the company and build it the way we had imagined it. Like, we imagined, we're going to do this the right way. We're going to have some capital. We're going to hire some people.
Mhm.
We're going to hire our graphic design team.
Think it all through.
Boom, boom,
Yeah.
do it all
Step
the
by
right way.
step.
And all of a sudden it's, wait, that's not happening.
Mm-hmm.
We have to really quickly just get this going.
Jump.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
we came up with pastries, and we came out the gate running. We already had some really good strains that we were running. At
Yeah.
that time, the candy thing was just starting to
starting.
happen.
Yeah.
So our first strain was a lemon cherry cross.
Yeah, you were candy. Like,
We started off right from the bat.
I want to say you started candy. At
we were
least in
probably one
Sonoma
of the
County.
we were probably one of the first ones in the county to get on that, and that's what pastries was about. A lot of that
Sweet.
sweet candy,
Mhm.
pastry like
Kind of flavor.
terpenes and
Yep.
flavors
Little
and
gas
stuff
in
like
the
that.
back.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we had that stuff. We were already working with some blueberry stuff
Mhm.
and just really delicious type
Color.
of stuff.
You always had color.
really
Still
nice
do.
color.
Yep.
So that's been our ethos a little bit.
Mhm.
We didn't think it was going to last that long.
Yeah.
It's not going anywhere. It's still a thing. That's
Yeah.
what's hot
Yeah. Yep.
in this. I mean,
It
obviously
is.
the legal market, there's a lot of other things that are really interesting.
Yeah.
You wouldn't guess, but there's a lot of people are saying Blue Dream is one of the best sellers.
I know. I've been
You
hearing
know,
that
like-
too.
It's still a
Oh,
thing.
weird. making
It's a thing.
comeback.
It's
Or-
still a
or
thing
even
in
sativas.
the
all the
in
growers are
world.
like, oh, okay, I guess.
Yeah.
Nobody loves it,
Yeah.
but
It's chunky though. Like, it produces a lot. So
Yeah.
it's nice.
And I think
Yeah.
it's just people are really starting to become more aware of like how things make them feel.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The actual
It's
high.
not
is
The
getting-
Yeah.
high. We
Yeah.
have always been very interested in that.
Yeah.
We don't want it to just smell good in the
Yeah.
bag. We want it to make you feel good.
Well, that's
we
what
want it to make you.
that's what you're doing at first. In the first
Yeah.
place, you want the high is what we're doing.
Yeah, we wanted. We
That's
always
all.
want something uplifting, something that kind of gives you a little bit of munchies, gives you a little bit of giggles.
feel
Yep.
good.
If it's got that attribute and it's got the look, the
Mhm.
bag
Yeah.
appeal,
Then
and it's
checking
got
all the boxes.
it's got the nose.
Yeah.
It's a go for us usually,
Yeah.
and we'll take chances. Like we had a really nice blueberry flavor, and it was crazy because some places were like, "This is our favorite thing,"
Mm.
and other places were like, "We hate it."
Wow.
Yeah.
We can't sell this. So it's just
Yeah.
Their
one of those
customers were a little
Depends
different.
on the demographic
Yeah,
and
it
like
does.
what their
Mhm.
whole
Where your
scope
store
is.
is. all that.
Location.
Stores are
Location's
so individual.
I mean, you can go
Different.
from the east side of Santa Rosa, you're looking more of the older generation, to the west side of Santa Rosa. I think it's more younger generation, more modern, more upbeat with the new stuff.
yeah.
Yeah,
Food terps.
for the terps.
The kids love the food terps.
Shout out the turfs.
But could we say it's the bad terps, like the watermelon spray?
Oh yeah,
The
Like the
blueberry
terp
spray.
sprays.
The Gen Z weed.
The artificial.
yeah,
Ugh.
yeah.
We don't know about that one.
Yeah.
I don't even know about that.
We haven't got into that. I don't know if we'll,
No.
I don't know if we'll
No,
ever
please
get into
don't.
that.
Please don't.
Please,
Yeah.
man. You're good.
It's
you're,
so
you're
weird.
too
We're
good
just
for
coming
that.
from the old school ways.
Yeah.
It's just, for us, it's cool. We're not gonna knock it. Apparently, people are getting big numbers on this weird
Yeah.
bags out on the East Coast, but it's not for us.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
You
not,
know,
it's, not a, it's not a California
We
thing.
want to keep
for
it
sure.
real,
Keep it
natural, old school.
Hell
you
yeah.
know, for
You-
the real smokers.
Yes,
Yep.
sir.
Breaking down the genetics and actually
Yeah.
find something that makes it taste well and
Yeah.
get
Do you
high.
guys
And
like hunt your own genetics and make sure you're growing what you want, or are you guys
Yeah,
sourcing?
that was what was difficult for us. Part of the challenge in having a small brand for us is we wanted to have things that were different,
Tiki vibe.
boutiquey stuff. Like
Yeah.
it made it somewhat easy to sell because a lot of the strains that we were bringing to the table, a lot of the buyers were like, we never even seen this before.
The exotic stuff.
So this is
yeah.
cool, something new,
Yeah.
something different. And I'd always go over there and we'd roll up and try things with the buyer. I'd hang out outside of the situation, and so it was always really good feedback. The challenge for us is when when you have a small brand and you have a smaller cultivation, it's really hard to just keep up with the demand. So I had never foreseen that issue. My game plan was like, okay, let's make it work. We have a small cultivation. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to do a flavor, and every few weeks we're going to harvest, right? We're going to really focus on freshness and quality. Being
Yeah.
that we have our own distribution channel, we can cut it down,
You can do all that
right?
flour
We
bag.
can cure
jar
it just enough
situation.
time, in-house trim it, and as soon as it's ready to go, we can have our people bag it up,
Yeah.
go through the whole process. I mean, we were being really meticulous. Like we were having, our packaging crew go through before it got into the bag or the jar. We were making sure they were going through and any little
QCing the
just-
hell out of it.
yeah, because we were like, we wanted to make sure like
It was perfect.
we were gonna make it,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Also,
what ended up
customers will return it. They will if they find a
What?
hair.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that.
They'll
See
go
that?
and give you bad reviews online too.
Yeah, they're
Themselves.
close.
It's crazy. Some of the feedback.
There was
you
a
get.
hair in my weed,
That
which
way.
is obviously not ideal, but I wouldn't return an eighth if I had a hair in it.
I've heard that before on my weed.
But it's also like QCing
You don't
is
say.
the best way to prevent
It is.
any
though.
slip ups like
Yeah.
that,
Yeah,
and that
no
random
surprises.
spot check that pull a couple bags out of every pound that runs through. Like
Yeah.
staying on top of it's the best preventative.
it was great because we had a top-notch product, but it was also difficult because it takes a lot of time to
and finding
hand-
people too.
package
Yeah.
instead of just running it through a machine and letting it do what it does. I mean, it adds to the cost of everything, and
Yeah.
so at the end of the day, you're operating on really small margins. And like I was saying earlier, one of the big problems that we were having is, that whole model of producing one strain every couple weeks, it didn't really work because what was ending up happening is some of these strains were running out.
They
at
weren't
the
moving like you
stores.
thought.
No, it was like by the time one would come out, one would almost be gone. For
And then
example,
the other's
right?
already in demand again.
Yeah, and then it's in
Yeah.
demand again, and then this one, for
One's
example,
just getting popular. and
Yeah.
they're like, oh, we're out of it.
and then
Like,
there's
oh.
times where we have 4 strains or 5 in the rotation,
Yeah.
and there'd be times where you go into the store and we only have 1 strain available. So
Yeah.
our one little bag, even though it's really pretty and stands out, it doesn't stand out enough because
'Cause
you're
there's only one of
competing
them.
with other brands
There's
that
not a
have
full line.
a whole
Options,
lineup
just
of options, and
options,
it just dominates the shelf space. That was challenging for us to actually get through that, and we realized the only way to really be efficient in this type of market is to have more cultivation, to be able to produce all of these strains at one time and be able to have a plethora of
Yeah.
flavors so that it stands out and it's consistent.
And you
Because
can compete.
yeah, because we were losing a little bit of business too, where some of our buyers were like, "Hey, like this strain is doing really well," And when are you going to produce it again?
Yeah.
It's coming. So that's really, for anybody who wants to start a brand, I'd say be really careful with that, because if you don't have the product, you will lose shelf space over time, where somebody else will just come in and take your space.
Makes sense.
Great
And
advice.
And shelf space is definitely competitive. To get space at all, it can get expensive.
Yeah. And there was a time there when we were first starting there, because it was like,
Were you paying
we
for
started
shelf
during the
space?
pandemic. So people had Skrilla.
Yeah,
I was gonna say,
and
I had
weed
that
was
pandemic
moving.
High. Yeah.
Yeah, so people were
booming.
spending, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they were
Weed
at home
especially.
doing nothing, so they were spending it at the dispensary, buying all the people were buying
Ooh, let me try
6,
this. Let me
7
try this
jars
one.
of the preemie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
And candy gas was just coming out.
Yeah. So when people want it, they want it, and then when, as retailers, when they see that people are asking for it and it's not available, that stings a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're losing
Definitely
sales
hurts.
at that point.
Yeah.
So that was a big learning curve for us, but it was great.
Yeah.
We built a great little brand. We
Mhm.
have, good reputation. So right now we're just working on some rebranding, and we're going to bring back some of the flavors in line with what's current with the product line.
Now you're about to partner with a local dispensary here.
Yeah. So I had a lot of people didn't know, but I started working on a retail location project over 4 years ago. I didn't really talk a lot about it because I come from that old school,
Yeah.
loose lips, sink ships kind of mentality.
Yes,
For
sir.
sure.
And didn't want to jinx it. And actually, it was jinxed
The
the whole time. Yeah, because
Regardless.
it's the same thing. Like, it's just been such a crazy ride with that one, paying rent on an empty building for 4 years. But originally my plan was to have a pastry store, and the pandemic and people at the county or at the city getting sick, and then people getting pregnant, like our planner, and leaving, and then all kinds of, any hurdle that you can think of I encountered with that spot. And when you're in that process of a conditional use permit, you can't really go and open another business there, right? You can't just go and say, oh, I'm going to sell
Switch it
this
up.
in here. You can't. It's like you're permitted to do this specific thing, and you also don't know when it's going to happen. They keep making it seem like, oh, it's going to happen quickly, but it doesn't. It's a very slow process. Everything goes through a review, and there's 6 weeks, 8 weeks for it to be looked at again. So there was a lot of time being burnt, and it was
Including your pocket.
it was
Yeah.
yeah, and it was
money being burnt too.
I was
Yeah.
just paying rent every month and nothing happening. So 2 years, almost 2 years ago, I decided that I was going to revisit my plan there. And I realized after looking at everything, like, all right, there's a learning curve to retail, right? It's expensive. You don't make money right away. You have to pay your employees. You have to stock the product. So I was like, you know what, man, I need to open my mind to other possibilities. So I decided that I would give up on that dream of doing a pastries flagship store.
Yep.
And I started opening my mind to partnerships, because I thought in my mind, okay, if I can partner with somebody who has an efficient game plan, that's got operating experience, right? Great SOPs, they're making money, they have connections already, they got buying power. It might be easier to do that. I actually found somebody that had multiple stores, a smaller operation. They were from Los Angeles, and he was really excited about the project. I had carried the ball downfield per se for pretty far on that
Yeah.
project,
I'm sure it impressed him.
but it still wasn't really far enough.
Yeah.
Like, we were still waiting for our building permits.
Mm-hmm.
And that process took way longer still. It just kept dragging on than we thought.
That's a long
Like,
road.
there was construction happening on Bolton Road.
Yeah.
And Caltrans didn't know what they were going to do yet. And the city was trying to force us to do all of these encroachment improvements to the sidewalk on Guerneville
Yeah.
Road.
Guerneville.
Yep.
You know, that area, there's no sidewalk there. It's been like that for a
Long time. Yeah.
So there's certain stipulations with the city that if your project goes above $200,000 in terms of the remodel, the rebuild, they can basically make you do all these improvements. So they were
Wow.
waiting to see what
There's a few more hurdles for you to jump.
they're waiting to see
more
what
time.
they're waiting to see
Yeah.
what Caltrans was going to do before they could tell us what we had to do,
Make
and
their
then
plan.
for us to be able to do those improvements, we had to come up with the architectural plans.
Yeah.
And
Sidewalks are a
All that.
municipality, though, right? The city's responsible for
technically, yes.
that infrastructure, but they were trying to make you pay for it.
Yeah, so
to
basically
me, it
it's-
sounds like they try to bully you a little bit.
I'm not going to beat up on the city too much because I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
Who first?
Yeah, let me ride this out. Let me get there. But it is there is a little bit of that, unfortunately. It's a business, and whenever there's opportunities for them to have us fix things for them where they can save a buck here and there, and they make a lot of money on the fees and permitting fees and all that kind of stuff. It's really not the most conducive to help people start businesses. It's almost like, what hurdles can we put in front? So from like just a whole bunch of different things, like having to put sprinklers in these things and stuff like that. There's a whole
Little
story
things,
behind that. I won't
yeah.
get into that. Just all that kind of stuff. It just adds to the difficulty of it. So I ended up losing my partner. He was like, Manny, I'm just gonna be honest, bro. Like, I have these other projects that I jumped into, and Santa Rosa's not moving. We haven't broke ground, and I'm gonna be honest. I'm not gonna be able to fund it. Can't see myself seeing it through.
Jesus Christ.
You know, so I ended
Another hurdle.
Seriously.
I ended up losing my partner on that, and we kind of called it square. Our legal agreement said he had to see the project through. I could have probably, if I wanted to, go into some kind of lawsuit thing, but it's just not my cup of tea.
It's messy.
Yeah.
I was ready to just say, all right, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll figure this out. I've been able to figure it out to
We'll
here.
revive
Good for you for
that.
doing that, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
And I
that's
said,
real.
you know what, dude, if you're being honest, you just can't afford it. I'm not going to,
Yeah.
we'll just part ways,
Yeah.
and I'll figure it out. Being in this industry for as long as I've been, you have to learn to have like faith and belief in yourself.
Yes, sir.
A lot of times we have too much where we don't know where to back
Absolutely.
out. But in
Yeah.
this situation, I really felt like I should keep pushing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where this new opportunity came in with this new partnership that I'm in now with the Sweet Spot.
Nice.
Jesse and Henry.
Amazing.
Really great dudes. They have a couple stores here in town. They're doing really great.
And why not have pastries in a sweet spot? It just makes sense.
It just makes sense.
It does.
You
You
know,
know?
at the end of the day, I was way more happy with this partnership. I'm not knocking my old partnership, but it felt better for it to be local,
Yeah.
Yep.
being that we're local.
Yep.
Yes.
It felt better that I've known Jesse for 20 years. You know, he owns Deep Roots Hydro. It's been there for a long time.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Henry's a amazing dude, very smart. He's an attorney.
Mm.
You know, he's a lot of knowledge with the city stuff.
I was gonna
I
say,
think he's on the planning
That's
commission now.
great.
He just got on the planning commission.
once they came into play, did it help you with the city and getting things organized?
Yes. You know, even though there's some things with that project that are still hurdles in regards to like the landlord that I did the lease agreement with. She passed away.
Oh no, another hurdle.
That was another hurdle that it happened, which
That's
you know
sucks.
when we were at the point where we were having to sign the encroachment permits, she was dead. She couldn't sign.
Oh.
So how's that even
So-
work?
The timing,
What-
it all was bad.
It had to go
Wow.
through this process of her heir becoming official
Whoever her power of attorney
trustee
was.
or whatever, all
yeah.
that. So there was all this lag time.
Which
Everything
takes
has just been
time.
taking time.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you're just paying fucking rent.
Yeah.
Seriously, right?
Jesus Christ.
You know,
The wire is bleeding.
But,
slowly.
Why the cannabis and you're trying to stay afloat?
but you know they're savvy businessmen. You know, Jesse's been in retail for a long time. They understand, and after obviously, they told me later like their first project took almost 5 years.
Wow.
They're like, Manny, we've been through this, bro. Trust us.
Wow.
We know
You know?
exactly how you're feeling.
But
yeah.
we've also
Yeah.
learned a lot of things
Mm-hmm.
about the process. So because of their experience and because of their knowledge, the project it's
Just
off and
clicked.
running. I don't know
Yeah.
if you've driven by that corner, but
Oh yeah.
I
it's
have.
painted.
It's,
Yep.
it's colorful.
Yeah.
We're inside.
It looks
We're
good.
about
Family
to,
lives down the street. It
we're
looks
about
great.
to ask for some inspections here soon
Cool.
It's
for
exciting.
electrical and
Congrats.
plumbing.
Cool,
So
man.
Let's
it's
go.
been really great. The colors are so much like pastries.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's
I get that
sweet.
vibe,
It's
yeah.
the sweet spot.
Yeah.
I like it that it's the West Side sweet spot.
Yeah.
You know, I like that it's the West Side.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
It's
That's
cool.
Great.
I
Born
love
and
it.
raised on the west side.
Yeah,
So
I love it. It's
I'm-
been great. I'm really positive about the whole thing. Feel really grateful
as you should.
to have not given up.
Yeah.
I was like, good
You
on
know
you
what I mean?
for seeing it through. It felt like
Yeah.
that's what you
Yeah.
needed to do, and you did it. So
Because at one point I was like, man,
rewarding.
I've done this so many times where like I probably should have pulled out earlier, and I just like that.
you want to
That
see
drive,
it through.
we have that drive. We've had to do. How many times have we? If you've been in the industry for over 20 years, which a lot of people have, you've seen the ups and downs.
Gotta have that faith.
And a lot of people have ran many times, and then it's like the ones that didn't. It's we're ready to roll,
Still-
and then you rock it and you come back.
Yep.
Feels that much
So
better.
it's almost like there's a programming there, almost to just never give up.
Yep.
But sometimes there is times where you gotta
You have to
chalk it
sometimes
up, cut your losses early, or else it's gonna
Yes.
become more losses.
Yeah.
Right. But in this case, the partnership just was the right thing.
Well,
So
clearly, things are like aligning. It just is working.
Yeah.
yeah, there's a lot of
Synergy there.
synergy. Yeah, there's a lot
three
of synergy.
locations, right?
There is, yeah. There's
a
three
lot of-
locations.
that's a lot of
Yeah, there's one on
locations.
Piner and
There's one by my house.
one on
Highway 12, yeah.
yeah. And this is a great location. I mean, it's
Let's look at a lot of traffic.
it's the third busiest intersection in Santa Rosa, and it's
Wow.
not set back on
It's like
the corner.
one, it's
Yeah.
loud, it's bright,
and it's bright. Yeah.
You're gonna see it.
Yeah, it's actually there's a really funny story about that. Henry called me the other day. He's like, "Hey, do you have the app next door?" I'm like, "No." He's, "Man, you got to see what's you got to see
Oh no, it's all
the
over there.
comments."
Dude, it's a bunch of retired
On there.
people bitching and beefing with each other.
really?
Oh, dude. It's a bunch of
That's
people
so
with too much
good.
time.
So he
Yeah,
was like,
sounds
"You
that
got."
way.
He's like, "You got to see, man. This is crazy. There's over 100
Oh,
comments on
Just the color.
people talking about what it could be and is it this and is it that, and somebody said, "Is it a strip club?" And like,
all the anticipation.
My brother said the same thing when he came into town.
I
Yeah.
was like, "Hey, man, listen. Good publicity, bad
good
publicity."
spot. Strip club.
It's still publicity. It's
Good publicity,
attention.
bad publicity, all publicity.
It
If
is,
that
it
many
is.
people are talking about it, bro, we're fucking good.
Yeah, it's a
So-
good choice of color.
It's better than the Peter Rabbit's chocolate factory that was there since we were kids, and the Asian Thai happy ending massage place, whatever that was, and just that rundown
Man,
building.
right.
So for you guys to come in and just bless that building and,
Yeah.
and bring in a product and a medicine to help the West County, the west
Yeah.
side of Santa Rosa,
That's a win.
good
Yeah.
for you guys.
Yeah, it'll be nice, man. That location is really well positioned with
Well,
Highway 12
yeah,
and everybody going to
well-traveled.
Forestville, to Guerneville.
Yep.
People trying to avoid Highway 101 and taking that back cut right there.
Yeah.
And then, with Rayleigh's and that big shopping center. And there's so many neighborhoods back there. I think we're going to do really.
Did you know Fulton was supposed to be the highway before 101 was built out?
I didn't know that. But
Yeah.
it makes sense.
Yep.
It's a direct
Yeah.
shot.
Yeah, but they wanted to move it towards the middle of the city of Santa Rosa, so that's why the 101 is where it is.
Wow.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Little
David
Learn
with
something
the
new every
zinger.
day.
Hey.
David with the
Yeah.
zingers.
But yeah, with all these issues and hurdles that you've gone through, it's really impressed me because I've been with you through your journeys of this cannabis market and the ups and downs. What's really impressed me is how your mental health, when it comes to eating, meditating, escaping the matrix, that all is very impressive, and I think that came to help you get to where you are today. I would love for you to speak about that.
Yeah, I've been on this path or road, I guess, of like health since 2011. I had a personal transformational type of experience where it opened my mind to seeing things from a different perspective. And that realization, I really like, it really hit me that life was fragile, fleeting, and that tomorrow's not guaranteed. And if we really want to have the best experience in our life, we have to really take care of ourselves. And taking care of ourselves means doing things that fill our cup, doing things that make us feel good, make us feel healthy, make us strong. I think part of me navigating through all of these hurdles and all of these things, because I'm just touching on like the surface. I can go really deep into the difficulties of everything, right? But what's kept me focused is just me keeping myself in a state of zen, right? And being very grounded.
Which is
You
very
know,
hard for people.
By allowing myself time to be out in nature, by eating healthy and take care of myself. I don't drink. Like, I don't really go out and party and stuff like that anymore. I spend a lot of my time like being more quiet and like more, in
Just
going inward,
look
just
inward.
thinking about things in a different way.
Yeah.
Not just for me selfishly, but also like how can I create win-wins in my life with other people? How can I collaborate? How can I operate from a place of like possibility versus like competition, which a lot of us do, even in our industry. That's been,
Yeah.
I think, a huge hurdle for the cannabis industry, that
Yeah.
people just can't get together to work together. I don't know if it's part of the old days of being in the traditional market and not being able to talk about stuff, but it's like it's ingrained in us to not share the recipe and not talk about this.
Yeah.
So, just really trying to operate from a different place, and then really just believing that everything is going to be good, and coming from a
Having
place
a
of faith.
Yeah.
So
It's a big word.
s-
Faith is a big word,
spiritually, for me, I think a big part of my practice is practicing gratitude. So I do that often. I do a gratitude meditation every morning, where I focus on feeling grateful, thinking about all the things I'm grateful for, sending out gratitude, and it just shifts my mindset every single day, because it's really challenging, especially right now. We're going through really difficult times, right? The economy is really difficult. Political stuff is just going crazy. There's a lot of division. There's been a lot of ups and downs. If it was like a steady thing, but the industry's up and down, like big swings, right?
Yep.
Where
Big
you're
swings.
making tons of money,
Yep.
For sure.
and
And
then
we
you're
were
not
making
making,
and
right?
then you make nothing.
So it's very bipolar.
Yeah.
So you go from a lot of people from having all this money and thinking it's gonna last forever, to all of a sudden it's like they can't even pay their bills. It's really difficult to get through that stuff if you're not really centered.
Yeah.
I've been focusing a lot on just learning a lot of that kind of stuff. I've gotten into a lot of the physical stuff, like doing hard things, doing like the cold plunging, and putting myself through
best.
difficult,
Stuff that you don't want to do.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
force
Yeah.
yourself to do it. You grow.
just difficult things that I feel like when I come into adversity, it's like, it's not a big deal. I got this. It's all good. And I can think clearly. So I can make better decisions. A lot of times, a lot of the mistakes that we make in our life, especially with business, are choices that we make based on fear
Or a reaction.
or reactiveness or just not thinking things through, right? And it could be a grave mistake. It can cost us our entire business or whatever it is. Just being able to stop and really think about things and make decisions. You're not always going to make the right decisions, but they're probably going to be a little better decisions than if you were just like flying off the handle, just being reactive to things. So that's what you've been seeing. A few years ago, I invested in a little Sprinter van.
Yep.
And that's been like, man, that's been so fucking cool, because it's allowed me to,
Yeah.
I'm here when I'm in town, I'm working 12, 13 hours a day. I putting in the time in and grinding. And then any opportunity I get to leave, I'm out.
Yep.
So
Yeah, bro.
it's been really cool, because
Creates a balance.
it's a
right?
balance, but not only that, but it's like, I don't feel burnt out ever anymore, because I know that this next weekend or the weekend after,
Get
I'm going to go
recharged.
recharge in nature.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm going to go out there. I'm going to get physical. I'm going to get on trail. I'm going to hike. I'm going to see some things. I'm going to be in an adventure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I come back and I'm ready to go. I'm ready to work.
Cleared the mind.
Cleared my mind. So that's been a really cool little thing. I've had to pull away from like the programming of grinding to no end. I did that for a long time. I've left a lot of money on the table by not being available when somebody needed me to be available, especially, in this industry. It's also helped me to create boundaries with people. I'm better at managing my time. And when I'm not available for my own personal time, I'm not available.
Yeah. Yep.
When I'm in that morning meditation, morning Zen time for myself, like, I'm not taking calls. I'm not, I'm just there. I'm doing that. And I'm focused on
present.
that and being present. So it's really helped me to see things from a different perspective. And I also feel like I have a great respect for nature and plants. I love plants. Cannabis, I'm beyond grateful for this plant.
Yeah.
I come from a very humble background, and everything I've ever experienced that's cool in my life has been thanks to this plant. It got me through college. It paid for my books.
Yeah.
Paid for my cleats for soccer. I can't tell you, for my gas and there forward and everything that I have, my home, all the experiences I've had, places I've seen. I've had a great life, and it's all been thanks to cannabis. So for me, I have a very
man.
big respect for her and other plants. So just being able to get out in nature and being able to really appreciate what it is and have that connection and feel fulfilled, and even though sometimes things aren't going great,
Yeah.
just feeling that connectedness to everything and grateful, all that gratitude for everything that I've been able to do, and the belief in that whatever I'm doing is going to be okay. And if it doesn't work out, it's fine. And if I lose money, it's not a big deal. It's like that kind of attitude really just, it really allows you
gives you
to
that
take
feeling,
a lot of
Yeah.
kicks
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
to
that's
the
empower.
cojones
Sure,
and
yeah.
not crumble. So
That's empower. A lot of people can't even receive or even
Harness, bro.
give out-
Harness
yeah.
that,
yeah,
man.
but it's
Yeah.
available to all of us.
It
really
is.
It's a lot of
is.
self-discipline.
Yep.
Yeah, discipline has
Agreed.
been a big thing for me.
It's a
Yeah.
big word
Yeah,
too.
it's a really
Mhm.
big thing for me. I'm always looking for things to do that are disciplines, because I feel like those things lead to empowerment.
And
Yeah,
growth.
absolutely.
So I'm really excited for the future. I'm really excited for what's to come with pastries. I'm really excited to see what happens with this dispensary project.
Hell
you know,
yeah.
I've been dabbling a little bit and playing around with some psilocybin stuff.
Okay.
That stuff's been really interesting.
Shit, yeah.
Some of that-
Always
Getting
a
into the
thing.
mind, yeah.
Some of the
That's not
extracts and
plant
stuff that some of
medicine,
these
man.
guys
Cool.
are doing. So things are fun. Things are cool.
Things are
good.
moving
good.
forward.
I'm glad.
Moving forward.
Yeah.
Like you were mentioning before, how difficult the world can be, and especially where we are right now. There's one thing that no one can control, and that's your mind. They can try, but they really can't if you just have that discipline.
Yeah.
If you can just sit back and take a breath before you react. I think what you do and how you hold yourself and how you run your business is very impressive, and I've always looked up to you, Manny.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah, and thank you so much for just leading the way. And please continue on in the cannabis journey, because I think a lot of people have a lot to learn from you.
Cool. I
Mhm.
appreciate that, bro.
Mm-hmm.
It's I appreciate that.
Of course.
I take
Yeah, man.
that to the heart. I got a lot of love for you and everybody in this room, Kyle. I've gotten to know you over the last
Yep.
year.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Become more of a
cool
like a brother to
experiences.
me,
Yeah,
and
man.
we've had some really good times and some
Absolutely.
good moments of connection. So
Yes, sir.
Very
you know,
similar
I
vibes.
I wish nothing
Yeah.
but the most success for each of you guys, and always hoping that you guys reach your goals and that we're all able to work together and collaborate and spread this positivity out there, because it's really necessary.
Yeah.
It's really important, spreading positivity. Sometimes it can even get annoying. I can feel like sometimes people are annoyed with my positivity.
Yeah,
But I'm like-
I'm gonna keep it coming.
But I'm like,
okay.
hey,
it
you know,
doesn't
like,
affect us. We're being me. So
Yeah.
when I'm on my deathbed, I'm not going to be upset about being positive.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, for sure.
yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah.
For some people, and it's not for others. But eventually, I think you find your tribe of like-minded people, and
Soul family.
but you attract
Soul
that. And
family.
but you can't do anything alone, really, in this world. I used to be I am still very much a lone wolf. I do a lot of stuff alone, but I'm never doing things alone.
Mm-hmm.
Everything requires collaboration.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you go further with collaboration, and in that, it requires, I think, us to be able to enroll other people into our vision.
Mm-hmm.
But talk is cheap. People
Yeah.
aren't going to go off of what you're saying anymore.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're living, leading, and you're being in a way where people are like, man, this guy's always on time,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mhm.
Everything he says he's going to do, he does it. He's so pleasant to be around. He's
Yeah.
always smiling.
Yep.
He's always positive. When you need help, when you go to somebody and say, hey, I need a hand, bro. Like, I need help.
Yeah.
Some people are going to be like, how much do you need? I want to be a part of whatever you
Mhm.
got going on.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a little tidbit there of it, a little hack
Yep.
for people. And a lot of people, they operate in a different space where it's the opposite.
Mm-hmm.
Very one track minded, very out for their own,
Yeah.
competitive.
Competitive.
I got to be better than someone else.
On this cannabis industry, that is what it is about. For the most part.
Everyone's fighting
Yeah.
for that dollar.
Yeah. And a lot of you can receive respect in different ways. You can take energy or you can give energy. You can bully somebody into giving you respect.
Mm. Yep.
I've done that in the past where
Mhm.
I just didn't know any better.
Yeah.
I thought that by me running people over, being more aggressive,
Mm-hmm.
you know, having more money, being able to be more bossy,
More powerful.
Mm.
more
More assertive,
powerful,
yeah.
I would get the respect that I wanted. And yeah, you get some respect, but that doesn't last. It's more authentic and more long lasting to get respect in this type of way.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's real
Yeah.
and it goes a long ways. And
Like
I think
people
that
gravitate towards it. In a way.
Yeah.
That
Like,
energy
they say,
Yeah.
like,
that you
"Ooh,
were mentioning.
It's the energy.
Because there's battery drainers, and there's those people that give that energy out and fill your battery, give you a full charge. Definitely think the people in our room today in this place in our circle are all just charging batteries. We're always helping each other out to a point where, like you just mentioned, Kyle, you met him a year ago. Your guys' vibe connect. You came and did a sound check with us. I'm sure you've known of Aaron or known Aaron, but now you guys have done some fasting and you guys have some like all these really cool things to help each other and get each other better to charge that battery and be a better person or a better human.
That's the collective mindset, and I think that's the future. In order us to build a new world, it's like that's where we have to go.
Agreed.
The collective, the each one teach one mindset. The I'm not free until everyone's free kind of mindset. And it's really easy to do it and do things and have things that are working for you and keep it a secret and just you're doing your own thing and you don't care about what anybody else does.
No, it's like grab the person next to you and get them involved.
Plant some seeds.
Plant the seeds. Yeah.
Let you don't have to sit there and kind
of change how people think, because a lot of people are closed-minded.
Or just give people a new an opportunity and a new perspective.
I think perspective's everything in a sense. If you're closed-minded and you cannot shift your perspective, you're losing. You're gonna miss out on a lot.
They say, what good are your eyes if your mind can't see?
Yeah.
So perspective is everything.
I'm stealing that one.
It really is.
Oh, perspective is everything. Mindset is everything.
Yeah.
If you have a positive mindset, and
you attract positivity.
Yeah.
Whatever you put out is what you're going to attract back.
If you're accountable for your shit, you take responsibility, you're not blaming people for what's going on, you can make some quick changes quick. You know? You can turn things around really quickly.
Absolutely.
So if you're not careful and you have the wrong mindset, it can snowball into addiction, self-sabotage, suicide. I mean, you're talking some real dark results.
Yeah.
So mindset is everything.
What do you see pastries and the Sweet Spot and Manny as an individual in the future?
I'm talking to the guys at the Sweet Spot about bringing pastries back on the shelf. I'm still not 100% sure of how that's going to look.
Okay.
I said before, it's extremely difficult to run a small brand like that. We were doing everything from orange genetics to growing our own product. We weren't outsourcing. We weren't buying weed and stuffing bags and selling it like most of these brands do.
I think it's easier for you to sell if it's coming from you and the love and the intention you put in the plant.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, people feel it.
So to have that same ethos and stuff, we have to figure out a way to make it work. So we're in conversations with a lot of different moving parts. We're trying to figure that out. I foresee it coming back soon.
Cool.
Right now I'm really focused on getting this store up and going. Hopefully in the next 3 or 4 months.
Okay. Dang.
Maybe.
Nice.
It's really soon.
That's exciting.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Please keep
There's
us updated.
light at the end of the tunnel.
Hey.
Long way coming.
Yeah.
I definitely want to be at the grand opening. I know we all will probably be there. So
Perfect.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
please keep us in touch. And
2489 Guerneville Road.
Hey, 2489.
You'll see it when you drive by.
Can't miss
You
it.
can't miss it.
Kobe Bryant and my birth year. I'll never forget it. And it's Kobe Bryant's birthday. Today.
It was really funny when I was talking to Henry about all the negative comments on Nextdoor or whatever.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever been to Soul Food?
Yeah.
In Centerville? Have you guys ever read that letter that's up by the door?
No.
So they have a letter on the door, and it's written by a Marinite, Nabi Marinite, and she goes off on like how this green building doesn't belong in Marin, that it like belongs in like Latin America somewhere. And it was just like the most racist.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's
terrible
racist.
shit.
Yeah, so the lady actually took the letter and put it right by the door, where you can read this lady's rant about how tasteless this color was or whatever.
Oh my god!
You're talking about the one in Centerville?
Centerville, yeah, yeah.
Because there's one in Petaluma now too.
There is, yeah. They used to be a little shack.
Oh, okay.
They used to be a tiny little shack, and then they moved over, and then they got the other space for the
whole inside seating.
So it was funny. It was very like relatable. I was like, oh, this is so funny. People always have something negative to say.
The green is legendary.
Always, no matter what.
But
the green building is legendary.
It's legendary. It's legendary. But
it makes me hungry. Looking
the colors speak for themselves. There's people that just by seeing the colors, Sweet Spot's done a great job of branding their colors.
They're on brand for sure.
People have driven by and said, I know what that is. So it's really good. We're really excited about it.
I feel like you can drive by all of the different locations and exactly.
Yeah, you know what's going on.
Yeah, you can tell.
Yeah,
they're all very
which is crazy
connected.
because Henry was telling me that when they first opened, they hired all these like consultants and stuff, and some of them were telling like, oh, you gotta paint it black, and you don't want to be seen, and you gotta, you know what I mean? It's just so much stuff out there.
Everybody's opinion. And a lot of it, you can pull just straight data from the market right now.
Yeah.
Like you can go do that yourself.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
hard,
Yeah.
but it's just so funny. Some people's
It's really
take.
funny, yeah. But at the end of the day, man, just do what you love. Do it from the
Yeah.
heart.
There it is.
Do it with love.
Yeah.
Go-
Crush it.
Going
It's
through your
real.
journey of health and more organic foods and living foods, coming to the plant, you did a lot of indoor flower. Would you branch off into going towards full spectrum, full sun type of outdoor for
100%.
pastries? Okay.
100%. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, we've talked about having different
Tiers.
tiers.
I,
There's
mean,
a
I,
lot you could do with branding there.
I got a lot of
Just
love. I got a
saying.
lot of love for sun grown.
I know you.
I-
yeah.
I could argue either way. I can
Mhm.
argue sun grown's better sometimes. I can argue why indoors.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. I just
You
know.
at the end of the day, there is that caveat because right now a lot of the higher end indoor stuff's not selling as much because there's no money. We're in a financial crisis in this country,
Yeah.
and it's only getting worse.
Yeah.
Inflation, the cost of everything's going up.
Well, and indoor is just expensive to grow.
So
Especially
yeah.
So it's
We've
like
spoke
you
about in
gotta
previous
that,
shows. Yeah.
yeah, it just changes your costing all across the board. So it's
Yeah. But people aren't like when the pandemic was around, people were going in and buying 4 or 5 different high-end jars. Now
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like people are going into the dispensary every day and buying a joint. You know,
well,
they're-
and the joint market is so saturated because people just every brand pumped out hella pre-rolls. It's a weird market,
It's a weird
right?
time.
But I feel like stay true to what you feel is right in your direction.
Yeah.
And as long as you can hold it down with your brand and keep
Yeah.
that, you get a good following, you get some recognition, you get people that are like there for you and support you and want to see it through. And it's going to take,
We
there's
have
a lot
a-
you can do.
we have a license in Lake County, sun-grown farm. We never brought that into pastries, but we're in the process of selling that farm. But we have another project that we're working on in Upper Lake,
Okay.
and that's been going through the permitting process for a really long time as well. But we're really close
More hurdles.
to
Yeah.
Manny's pockets. I feel so bad.
we're really close to that coming to fruition.
Mhm.
I think we're like 95% of the way there. And that's a really good appellation up there. It's up at a higher elevation. There's a lot of cool
There you
winds
go.
that go through there. The soil is like untouched, beautiful soil. We've tested it.
Yes.
It's like magnificent.
Sweet.
So if what is going to happen there happens, then that's the type of product that we would bring in as a sun grown because we want to stay true to the quality.
True to the plant, yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
there's
the
nothing.
real medicine.
That's come on.
Yeah. Where we
Grown
all
in
started.
grown in the ground.
Yeah.
Get
Powered by the beautiful
Sun
sun,
and the moon.
Yeah,
Yep.
and
And
the
the
moon.
moon.
The moon.
Shout out to the
Yeah.
moon gals.
The moon.
And the hummingbirds,
And the
you know, and the
hummingbirds.
bees.
Just nature in general.
But why not
You
take
know.
advantage of what we have here in California? Might as well.
It's the best place
Yeah.
for it. I
Yep.
mean,
Would you roll over there? It's some gas.
So I got this from the cup from Matthias from Compound Genetics.
Okay.
Some fire.
Light that up. I can smell it from here.
Yeah.
Nice, bro.
On the end note.
The Emerald Cup was a good show.
It was a good show.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a good event, I should say. We got to definitely see a lot of people there. And
Kyle got
lot of-
recognized.
oh my God.
It's the hair.
It's
Kyle's
the
hair.
rocks, bro. Yeah,
How-
well, I wasn't really expecting that, and that was pretty cool.
Really?
No, not really.
Really?
Really? Yeah.
Really?
No,
I
Walk
wasn't
around
expecting
with that hair
I
and
wasn't
not
expecting
No, I mean,
expect to
expecting that to
get
get recognized from the podcast. Like, that was cool.
Oh, oh, you want to talk about that? I thought you wanted to talk about the 37
what?
people that said nice hair to you.
no,
Oh my
yeah,
God.
Hey, the last Emerald Cup was 57,
David's
and I
over here.
remember it because
David's
they're both
counting.
sevens.
You got the clicker.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. I started naming people. I'm like,
People
oh,
would
number
stop
one,
him
number
and
two.
tell him like hair products.
Thank you. Yes,
Yeah.
you
Telling
witnessed
secrets.
it. Thank you, Aaron.
Yeah.
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 See,
God.
not even that.
it's a
Aaron and I
lifestyle.
are wearing One Harvest podcast shirts.
We're here. We
we
pulled
getting
up
all the love.
representing.
And Kyle's over here. Everyone's talking to him. Hey, man, nice. One Harvest podcast. Oh, I talked to you on Instagram. Kyle's, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Did I?
That wasn't me.
Kyle's like looking at me. I'm like, yeah, that was me,
You know
man.
this guy?
But it was all love and good intentions. And
It
yeah,
was fun.
it was
It
great.
was a good little afternoon.
What do you say? Oh, my podcast? Yeah.
Mine is yours, fam. We're all in this together. So
It's family style, right?
exactly. And shoot, speaking of people having issues and stuff that happens to them and being accountable and being there for people, Kyle called me Wednesday, and his work truck broke down on him on the hill, which is like 4 hours away from here.
Spy Rock Road is bad right now.
Is
Yeah.
It's bad.
And he called me and I said, man, you let me know. I'll be there. You want me to leave tonight? I'll come pick you up. You want to work on your truck tonight? What do
Yeah.
you want to do? I'm there for you. And he mentioned, yeah, I got my uncle coming just in case, but I just want to let you know this is what's happening. I'm like, call me, I'm there.
Appreciate that, fam.
Yeah, always. And that's
Cool,
that's
man.
what we do. So as long as we stay
Brotherhood,
strong.
bro.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'd be there,
That's
but
that
there'd
good
be a
brotherhood.
10-year-old with me.
Oh
10
my.
years old. That's
Hey,
as
put
long
him
as
to
I
work.
can-
Wes
Oh,
would
yeah.
love it.
He
Put
would-
him to
oh, he
work.
would
I could
love
definitely
it.
Oh
teach
my.
him a few things.
So here's a wrench, boy.
He would-
He loves that.
He would love it. Boys will be boys.
Oh, God.
oh yeah. Especially out in the country.
He is, let him go,
That's
be
what we need to
wild, and
be.
I won't see him until
Oh,
he's
wow.
done, ready for bed.
Yeah.
This has been a great show.
It's been fun.
Thanks for having me, bro.
Yeah. Thank
I
you
really
so much for
appreciate it.
being here.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah.
We'll have
Yeah.
to do it again
know.
after the store opening
The
and
grand
Yeah.
opening.
Mhm.
pastries.
I've
is
been
back in
hesitating to come
action.
for a while. I don't be much of a. I've always been very private, so
Oh, I know.
it's difficult for me to get in here and
I understand it. It's
You
how
know,
we come up in the cannabis
yeah,
industry.
with-
Back in the
Mhm.
day, it was like everyone was very hush about
Yeah.
everything.
when it comes to with friends and stuff, my feelings, my emotions, I'm very vulnerable. I share everything, but when it comes to the general public and me talking about what I'm doing, I've always been very, quiet, hush.
Yeah.
Keep it to your inner circle.
Keep it to my inner circle. But that's all stuff worth talking about. I'm really excited about it. I want to give big shout out, big props to my new partners, and
There you go.
I'm really looking
yeah.
forward to just grinding on that project. So
Yeah, man.
For sure. We're definitely thankful for you being here. Do you want to give a shout out to Instagram, how people can follow you, get a hold of you?
yeah, just at pastries _SRE,
Okay.
and that's it. Just
What
follow
about-
the brand?
What about your private account too? Because I mean,
Nah,
your
that's-
adventures, bro, are pretty fun to watch.
Just follow the pastries
That
page.
shit's on
Yeah.
brand.
If you find,
Yeah,
if
I
If
mean,
you
not-
find him, you find
if you
him.
find me, you find me.
Hey, there he is.
Keep it mysterious.
Yes,
I'm a
sir.
Scorpio.
Hell yeah.
Respect.
But yeah,
man.
I've been blessed with being able to see some really beautiful places. So
Yeah, you have some cool adventures going on, man.
yeah, I just made my page unprivate, so you might be able to find me out there.
All right. So
Thank you so much for being here. Yeah, let's get respect. One harvest, one love. Peace.
we're out. Let's go.
Sick.